now be recorded.
All right, thank you everybody for your patience. Appreciate it. Welcome to the meeting of ACABOR, September 17th. Can everybody stand for the pledge, please? And Shirley, would you be able to lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Few ground rules. For those of you who are new, which I don't think there's many of us, as we go through the meeting, we will put everybody on mute. We will have each applicant give their description of the project, what they're doing, and then describe the project. There'll be questions from the board. We will go through each board member one by one and unmute them as we go. Once all the board members have asked their questions, we will have the public speak. If you are here from the public wishing to speak, I would ask that you just put a message in the chat. And if we don't see anyone, still open up the sound so people can speak then. We have a short agenda tonight, so I don't expect to complete. And that's about it. We'll do a quick roll call. Shirley, present or absent?
Present.
Joe Millo?
Present.
Debbie?
Present.
Kenyatta?
Present.
Chris Dunnigan, present. Sharon Burke?
Present.
And Atchison looks to be absent. Debbie, do me a favor and hang up.
What was that, Chris? Muted.
Chris, your voice is not coming through.
That better?
Yes.
Thank you.
I can see all of you.
Debbie, do me a favor and hang up your phone. And just go through the computer because it's got an echo. Or did we lose Debbie? Oh, she's coming back. All right. Okay. Start over. Our first applicant of the night. Forgive me for pronouncing it incorrectly. Ski Rear Expansion Pole Barn Site. I believe Mr. Brenner, you are here for that.
That's correct.
Could just walk us through the project. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
I am here and Peter Skate's here also. He's the owner of the project. There is an existing building here, and what my client is doing, he's building a pole barn to the extension of it to the west of the existing building. It's a simple pole barn structure, and he's going to be using it for storage of his own personal equipment. As you can see from the drawings, it's strictly steel type building, gray color, and primarily it's, if you found the place, it's way back in the woods.
Okay. Just looking at the plan here, I see that, like you said, the sides are gray. Are the doors on this a different color, or are they going to match that same ash gray?
Peter?
I believe the doors are white, like, typical garage doors. The north side of the property is facing the day camp that exists there, so it's not facing any residential area. There's a day camp between Ramland Road and the state of New Jersey, and this property is just wedged in between.
Okay. Do you guys have a landscape plan?
The only plans we have are what were sent. There is a site plan, which I guess you guys didn't get, which shows some limited landscaping, like a berm that we're planting on the south between the facility, the property, and the Jersey residence. And it shows the asphalt that's going in, the driveway and parking. But I guess they didn't give that to you. I'm not sure, aside from what I see on here, what else was actually submitted to ACABOR. We got a lot more plans than this, that's for sure.
So I do have a site plan. It's got a overview of some landscaping, but I wasn't sure if there was a more detailed version of that you had.
No, we don't have intentions to do anything, extraordinary in terms of landscaping here, because again, it's really in the middle of nowhere. It's off of a private access road from New Jersey. There's no access from New York, and it's not something that anyone is ever going to see.
Okay. Anything else that you wanted to share before we open up to the board for questions?
Nothing from my standpoint. It's just sadly a house that's over 100 years old, but because it's in a commercial, it's on commercial property, it can only be used for commercial purposes. So that's why we're putting the pole barn on it, so we could actually use it for storage for escape power solutions.
Okay. Shirley, any questions?
No.
All right. Joe, any questions?
No, not at this time.
Shannon, any questions?
Yes. So the one side faces the day camp. So I saw that. But then the other side, which is the back side of the shed, that does face where the homes are coming from in Old Tappan. I believe it was like Long Ridge Road. And so there's some homes that are in the back of that as it like loops around. So I had seen on the plan, you guys are putting in evergreens back there, but I was wondering if the trees that are there now, will any of them be coming down that are
No.
kind of along that border?
No, nothing along the border will be coming down. No existing trees will come down. We actually, several years ago, temporarily put up some evergreens there just to try to be good neighbors to the people on Longview, because one of the homes just had a wide open view of the day camp. Really, they were just looking right through our property into the day camp. So we were just trying to be good citizens and put up some blue spruce and green arborvitaes, and the neighbors were very happy that we did that.
Oh, okay. Will there be any lighting on that side of the shed, like at night, that might?
Yeah, we were told we had to put lighting on that side, but it's gonna be switched lighting. So it would only be turned on if it was needed for emergency access or something. Nothing that would be on at night, because it would be shining right in their backyards.
Okay. I'm good, Chris.
All right. Debbie, any questions?
No.
And Kenyatta, any questions?
No.
Right. Okay. And nothing on the house is changing, right? It's just that the barn is going up.
Yeah.
Correct. Nothing on the house.
All right. Let me just unmute everybody. Is there anybody from the public wishing to speak on this matter? Hearing none, seeing none, public portion is closed. All right. It looks like there's no conditions, no changes that anybody's looking for. Do we have a motion to approve as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
And I will second. Roll call vote. Myself, yes. Shirley,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Sharon,
Yes.
Debbie,
Yes.
and Kenyatta.
Yes.
All right. You guys are all set. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next up on the agenda is Tomato Home Plans. I believe we've got Mark here and Jay representing this evening. Whoever would like to take the lead, like to tell us a little bit about the project.
Chris,
Here, if you would, please.
Keir Levesque taking the lead. Will you require me to share my screen?
If
Or do you
you,
have everything?
I do, but if you'd like to share it, that'd be great too.
First, I want to know if you have the rendering that Mr. Comito put together.
I have in elevations that are
Yeah.
on your architect plans. But
Which Shirley was just holding up was the question.
I do not have that, no. So if you have that,
Okay,
that'd be great.
I'll share it with you. Cheryl, may I share my screen?
Hold on, there you go. Should be all set.
So this is a rendering of the elevation, the front elevation that faces the street. It's the east elevation. This is a new home on an existing lot. It's fronting on Sickletown Road. Color scheme is gray, black windows, white trim. Siding is a board and batten. Actually, we have 3 variations of siding. We have board and batten, shingles, and beveled siding. Looking to use texture to give some depth to the universal color of gray that we're using on the house. And I think these textures will help when we're using the same colors to give some interest, some visual interest, rather than just a sort of a plain box. The stone is a cultured stone. It's gray. So again, the color scheme is gray, black, and white. Windows are predominantly double hung with divided light on the top, single light below. And as you can see by the plans, the garage is off to the north, which is on the side of the house, not visible from the street. Landscaping here is based upon a landscape plan that I believe was submitted to the board. I don't know if you have that. And we have screened the AC equipment with, I don't know if you have this drawing, Chris,
It's good to share it.
but the AC equipment is right here on the north side of the house, and we are screening it with the Big Blue and the Buxus. So that equipment will be screened to the north side neighbor. Lighting that's on the house. This is the carriage light that's at the front. And there's another light. Here's the light lights that are by the garage. So everything is downward shining or has a roof over it. So not shining up into the sky. I'm ready for questions.
My first question is, the garage doors are going to match that white trim, or are they going to remain gray, or what are they going to be?
White trim,
The doors themselves are going to be white as well?
yes.
All right. You answered all my questions. Open up questions to the board. Shirley, any questions?
Yes. In the description, you said the roof on the porch was going to also be charcoal gray, but I was delighted to see a lighter gray in the rendering. Do you have a name for that lighter gray?
I will have to ask Mr. Camino that question.
I think it's a volume gray. It is a little bit lighter than the siding. It's a little bit lighter than the pewter gray shingles. I think it's called volume gray, but I can check that.
Okay, thank you. That was a wise decision to make it lighter.
Thank you.
Joe, any questions?
No, it's a beautiful house.
Shannon, any questions?
No, I'm good. Thank you. I think it's beautiful too.
Kenyatta, any questions?
No questions. Can't wait to see it go up.
And Debbie, any questions from you? Go ahead, Deb, any questions?
No.
Thank you. All right. I generally agree. Looks a beautiful house, and it's going to be quite nice when it's done. Is there anybody from the public wishing to speak on this application? Hearing none, seeing none, public portion is closed. Do I have a motion to accept as presented?
I make a motion to accept it as presented.
Do we have a second?
A second.
I'll second it.
Kenyatta got in there first. The roll call vote, myself, yes. Shirley?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Kenyatta?
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes.
All right, you guys are all set. Thank you and good luck with the house.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Have a good evening.
Good night.
All right, up next we have Orange Bank and Trust. Joe, will you be walking us through the application? Or somebody else? I cannot hear you. We can't hear you. I can see you talking, but I can't hear you.
Is it better?
There you go.
Sorry, everyone. Good evening. Joseph Thompson, architect representing Orange Bank and Trust. And a proposed project to establish a new branch bank on South Middletown Road, across from the old Letterly facility, in a building that used to be the Rooster Cafe. So we're proposing a pretty substantial comprehensive renovation of that building and an adaptive reuse from a cafe into a bank. And if I could screen share, I could share some of the graphics of what we're proposing to the board tonight.
There you go. You should be able to now.
Thank you. Perfect. Can everybody see the photograph of the old Rooster Cafe?
Yes, we can.
Great. So these are basically present conditions of the site. It's an old building, probably last renovated likely in the 70s or 80s, with a mansard roof around the perimeter, existing brick, and a storefront that fronts South Middletown Road, a pole sign, and some landscaping that's kind of become undergrown and under-maintained. So side by side, what we're proposing is to remove that mansard roof, modernize the facade, refinish the brick, replace the storefronts, panel the upper molding, some new signage, and then also a new monument sign to replace the old pole sign, as well as all new landscaping in the front, called the small front yard that fronts South Middletown Road, and also flanking either side. Along the side of the building, there's a small drive-through that, it's not a window drive-through, it's just remote equipment that the bank uses with video for remote transactions, which is even more increasingly important in this current pandemic. So we have a small MAPES type aluminum canopy that we'd have a matching finish on the remainder of the trim with larger historic type curved brackets on the side of the building. And some decorative. The original proposal, we have both sconces and some goosenecks on the front of the building to illuminate it nicely at nighttime.
Again.
What you may notice in the packages, there was an original submission. I don't know if that was distributed to the board, and then an updated submission is that we've been currently working on bidding this project and have proposed a series of value engineering measures to make this project budget compliant for the bank. So what we prepared based on the elevations that are in your current package is another updated rendering that this was the rendering that's in your current package. We're hoping to also present this alternative rendering for the board's consideration tonight as an option if we need to implement it to reduce costs. It's very comparable, but we're proposing, instead of extending the brick to the full height, to have basically panel moldings around the whole perimeter of the building. Fiber cement, painted fiber cement. I guess at this point, I'll turn it back over to the board for questions, unless you'd like me to walk through any of the other elevations, details, or floor plans that were in the package.
Can you quickly flip back to the original rendering? Got it, okay. So it's just the side walls that will change from brick to the paneling, okay?
Correct, that's really the only major difference. And then proposing to remove the gooseneck fixtures, which we had in the original. You can see the 3 up top. I think that with the sign itself being backlit and also the sconces, up-down sconces that we have flanking the door, that they may not be necessary. So we'd also like the option to have an approval that could delete those from the package, is what we'd like to request from the board.
Okay. And Cheryl, if we give them that option, you would need a separate set of plans for that, or no?
I believe he emailed me the plans late in the day, and those are the alternative plans, and I would need 3 sets of those plans.
We'd be happy to provide any documents required.
And are we considering the signage here, specifically the monument sign in the front?
Yes, the sign as well. I sent you a copy of the zoning board decision, I think yesterday or this morning, that approved the signage.
Okay. Got it. All right. I'll open up questions to the board then. Shirley, any questions from you?
I really like the original design with the light color coming up the left and right of the facade. And when you change that, it sort of changes the look a little bit. I don't know if you can be consistent with the color scheme on the front. I don't know. Just suggesting that it was a little bit more attractive that way, but both options actually work.
Anything else? Shirley?
Nope, that's all.
Joe, any questions from you?
Will there be any, on both sides, will there be any fencing or shrubbery put up between the other businesses and the bank?
Yes, so I didn't present the site plan, but that should be in your packages. We are proposing this isn't landscaping, we are proposing a visual screening along the rear to help sort of screen the rear yard and the dumpster area. And there is existing landscaping on the south portion of the property. We're going to supplement that, and then there will be new landscaping along the north property line as well.
Thank you.
Sharon, any questions?
No, no questions. Thank you.
Kenyatta, any questions?
No questions, but with regards to that facade, I think it's a matter of personal opinion because I actually prefer the top that's darker. So, I mean, I guess whatever's within the budget would make sense to me, but I prefer the second option.
Mm. Debbie, any questions?
I'm gonna be, I guess, the one, I'm not liking the second option at all. I just think it's chintzy looking. I think that the first option just brings a lot more class to the building than the second option looks more like a fast food operation. And so I'm not liking the second option at all.
Okay. Anything else about the project, Deb?
No, I think once again, the board just has to really come to grips with what kind of look we want to transpose into the town, you know, and these are the beginnings of the opportunities to just have a different look. And I think that the first project, the first visual is so much more elegant and classy. And the second one is just commonplace. It doesn't say anything. It just says drive-through restaurant to me. So I'm sticking with number one. And I don't understand why, you know, you come to us with a presentation of what you can afford, and you should know what your budget is, and not to leave it up to not to leave it up to you to decide based on budget. You're coming to us for an opinion based on one project. Let's see what it is. This is a mishmash. We don't know what we're going to get.
Yeah, I'm in kind of agreement where I think I like the first one a lot more than the second one. You know, I kind of like the crown molding. It's a little classier. The gooseneck lighting is a little classier. It's a nicer look. So I would certainly, you know, feel that we're better off going with that than the second option. You know, I do think that there's a bit of, to Kenyatta's point, of personal preference in some of that, but I'm certainly far more in favor of the first option than the second option. Any other questions from any of the board members? Okay. So, Joe, from that perspective, are you okay with going with the first option if we approve that without the option of the second one?
Yes.
The most important
Other-
thing.
yeah.
So for us, if it's the difference between procuring an approval tonight or not, I think we'd certainly agree to that. Ideally, we'd like to proceed with the first option also. I don't know that the cost differential between the two is enough to make or break our decision to move forward with the project. So yes, I think we would be fine. I guess if we did need to come back for the board for the other option, perhaps we could revisit that later, but I don't think that's going to be 100% necessary.
Right. If you get into that situation, you can certainly come back and we can do a relook at that if you get into that position.
And sorry if there was any surprise here with this rendering being prepared. It's an evolving situation. We're actively receiving bids back from contractors, and we're trying to explore options to try to come up with the best product we can and then balance all the requirements of the project. So if it's not acceptable as formatted, then we could proceed with the first option.
And I will say, very much appreciate the renders like this that we've got tonight from a number of the applicants. It's very nice to see that. It makes it a lot nicer to think about and reason about. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to open up for the public. Is there anybody from the public wishing to speak on the application? Hearing none.
I
I-
just have idea. I've never made comments on architectural plans, but I,
Hey,
So-
Mr. Greenwell, can you speak up a little bit? You can barely hear you.
sure. Does that make a difference?
That's a little bit better, yep.
Okay, I was just wondering, would it make a difference if the lighter brick face went up to the top on just the corners, and then the treatment that's on the front were extended on the sides at the very top? It's just a suggestion as a hybrid. Forgive me for making an architectural suggestion, because that's not something I do.
May I jump in here,
Go ahead, Deb.
Chris?
Yes, go ahead.
So I think the molding on the top, that top trim that goes all the way around on the second piece here, and those 3 sconces on the top, they just changed, never mind just the bricking on the side, but that's a whole new look. And that's what I mean about it's the old look, which is version number 2, versus this is the new look. It's more into the times, and it doesn't matter about the other things. That whole appeal with the molding and those lights, you take that away, you're just an ordinary building, and that's the beauty of this building, is that molding on top of those lights. You peel that away and it's just commonplace.
I think that that suggestion, and it's hard to see it have to color, and it just, I don't think that would make sense. Just have the brick on the front and not continue it across around the corner, in my opinion. But is there anybody else from the public wishing to speak on this? Hearing none, seeing none. Public portion is closed. So I think where we're going here is to approve the original plan as presented, not giving the option for the second. Do I have a motion to approve the original plan as presented?
I'll make that motion.
We have a second.
I'll second.
All right, roll call vote. Chris, myself, yes. Shirley,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Sharon,
Yes.
Kenyatta,
Yes.
Debbie.
Yes.
All right, you guys are all set. Good luck with the building.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening.
And was our last application for the night. All right. Not bad, even with the delays. Do we have a motion to close the meeting? I'll make a motion to close the meeting.
I'll make a motion to close.
Debbie, you want to second it?
Yes.
All in favor?
All right.
All right, thanks,
I was the
everybody.
last one in and the first one to go.